Good morning, everyone. Today is nothing but positive news on the fish tank. So, the ick appears to be 100% gone. We have been treating with the ick medication for now 3 days, but we're going to continue through for at least 7 days to make sure it's 100% gone. If it's not completely gone, it could bounce back more powerful and resistant to the medication. So what we're going to do is just keep on going for a week. That's what it says in the instructions here. Keep on going for a week. We've been going 3 days. Good thing I bought a second bottle because we're almost out of this. I had to order it online. It's a special medication that doesn't kill crustaceans. Most ick treatments contain copper, which will kill your snails, your crayfish, your crabs, anything like that. So, very visible last week after not being home for about a week and a half. Especially the small goldfish. That's who I accuse it probably came from that pet store with the little feeder goldfish. But even the wild caught suckerfish had it a bit on their fins. I cannot find it anywhere. I can't even find scarring on anyone. So first thing I did was I added an extra heater to make it a little bit warmer in here, which accelerates the life cycle of the ick. I also added a teaspoon of salt. I think I added 1 per gallon or 2 of the tank. Now salt water like the ocean, you'd have about 5 teaspoons per gallon, but I added 1 per gallon. It makes it slightly brackish and salty. It makes the ick, which is a parasite, uncomfortable. It detaches and it'll eventually die because it can't find a host. That's the route I went, and it was almost not noticeable when I started the medication. So those two combined should definitely get rid of it. I went to the pet store the other day because while I'm doing the ick medication, I was going to buy the Placo a friend because that's the fish that's alone in there. Because I noticed the white suckerfish all follow each other. The 2 big goldfish are always together. The small goldfish are always together. They're very social, it seems. I was going to get the Placo a friend while we're treating it anyways, just in case it brought something in. The pet store I go to said, oh, we can't sell you those because we're actually treating them for ick. And I'm like, I'm treating for ick. I don't care. I'll take it. I'll treat it. Our policy won't allow you. So I asked the manager. They wouldn't allow me to buy it. But I did buy a couple new snails. These ones do not have trapdoors. Those are not a type of trapdoor snail. So those ones are not protected as much from the crayfish. I'm hoping they reproduce in there like crazy because then the crayfish will have a food source. The bigger snails, I don't think that guy would be capable of killing unless he somehow gets them when they're out of their shell. But if they close, it could break his claw. See, I got the yellow snails. They've been in here since the beginning now. And there's 2 white snails up there I got yesterday. I don't know where either of them are. I put 2 white snails down here to help clean this up. You see how it's starting to get really algae covered. Do you think if I put a big Plecostomus in here, a fairly big one, that the crayfish would kill it? Because a Placo is more nocturnal. It's going to be awake when that guy's hunting and be able to stay away from him. These other guys in here that are the crayfish's intended food sleep during the night, so he's able to easily catch them because the crayfish is nocturnal. I do suspect these white snails, they have a white shell. I do think that the crayfish ate one of them. I put them in here hoping they'd populate and get rid of all this algae. I can't find number 2. I'm guessing the crayfish ate it. It could be hiding. But when I was at the store yesterday, I bought a betta fish, bright red fish, to add some color to the tank. I had one years ago when I also had a community tank like this with a bunch of different things. And it lived in there for quite a while. It ate with everyone else. It got along with the goldfish. The only one in here who shows any aggression is the single Plecostomus. Whatever cave it's in at that moment, it'll chase anyone else out of there. It doesn't go after anyone, it just wants its own space. But the betta fish was in there. It survived the night. It was in there yesterday. I went camping in the woods last night, came back this morning. I can't find the betta fish anywhere. And then over in this corner, I see the fish picking at what looks to be in the corner a white piece of meat. So that beta was bright red. I'm guessing it got eaten. But the only one in here who I would really think would kill it, could it have been the dwarf crayfish, which is teeny little guy? You think it could have killed the beta, ate what it wanted, and just left it there, and now the fish and bottom feeders are going to clean it up for me? Because in a community tank like this, if anyone dies, even the big goldfish, and you're not home for a couple days, you'll never find the body. They will eat every single part of it. It'll be gone. You see how it's algae covered right here? The only spot that the snails and algae eaters can't get to? Well, down here, everything's covered in it. That snail has a all-you-can-eat buffet. When I first put them in there, I'd put them on top of this, I could see a line of where they were eating. It's kind of cool. Oh, where'd he go? The tadpole who was injured in here. A lot of people in the comments said I should name it Scar because of that. There he is. This is not a good angle. I wish I would have seen him a moment ago. He was up here. It grew legs. He didn't have hind legs, really. Now he's got big hind legs. And so the goldfish are pigs. So I've been feeding them more now at night. So the bottom feeders, the snails, the crayfish has a chance to eat. Also the tadpole will get a chance to eat because it's semi-nocturnal. Then whatever scraps are left over, the goldfish eat. So sometimes I'm going to feed them in the dark, sometimes I'm going to feed them in the light. But other than that, everyone seems to be doing well. I guess I won't try to get another beta fish. I guess it's too slow. And I guess it got caught. What do you guys think? You think that the crayfish would have caught a beta fish? Beta fish do great in community tanks. If it's a female, you can put a few of them in a big tank. If it's a male, it should be alone. It was a male, the one I bought. It was just going to be alone in here. But only lasted a day. And now it's being eaten. So, in here, the nice bubbler in there. The bubbles are big because the air stone's buried deep. If it wasn't as deep, they'd be more fine. Like the one down here is much finer bubbles. My air compressor wasn't powerful enough, so I got another one. So this one right here wasn't powerful enough to run both tanks. You see those two nozzles? They're both connected on the inside. That's why I took a little piece and crimped and burned it, so it would all go to one tank. But I got a more powerful one. This one is 4.5 times more powerful. This is a commercial grade one, and it can power a lot of tanks. If I get another tank, even on the other side of the room, just run a line, tack it like a wire on the walls and ceiling to get over there. And this thing is so powerful, I can't believe it. Look at this. I'm gonna open a valve, just spilling it out. It's still running powerful. I open another valve, letting it out. It's still running decently. So it's got a lot of power to be able to run with those two openings still so well. I also added check valves in here. I usually don't use check valves. A check valve is so if the power goes out, if this thing suddenly stops pumping, if it suddenly stops pumping air, this air stone is full of air right now. If it stops pumping, it's going to immediately fill with water, and that gush of water could send water out the hose and start siphoning all over the floor. And this is going to stop that. It's the backflow protection, hopefully. They had cheap ones that were like under $1 a piece on the internet, but these were $5 a piece. I hope paying a little bit more will mean they won't malfunction in the event of an emergency. That's the box. So this one, a while back, I think was about 30 something at Walmart. That's a regular one. This is fine for one tank, it just couldn't handle both. This one right here could handle quite a few tanks. And this one's so powerful, you could even probably put air-powered filters, if you know what I'm talking about. They have canister filters like this that have bubbles going in the back. And what the bubbles do is it creates a pull through it. Air-powered filter. I used to have some of those. But this is going so fast that it would be able to run air-powered filters actually probably quite well. And fish in the wild don't always get a meal every day. You don't have to be home to feed them every day. In fact, I feed these guys regularly only a couple times a week. If I'm gone for a week and a half, they can go without eating. No problem with that. It happens sometimes in the wild. But if I'm away for like a month, I need something to feed them. I'm not going to ask some family member to come out here every single week and feed them, especially not when it's snowy and icy in the winter. So I got some automatic feeders I'm going to mess with long before I would ever go on a trip. I'm going to keep them constantly plugged in. Hopefully it lets me do that. And I'll program this thing to drop food in. I'm hoping I can program it to do something like, I don't know, every 4.5 days or something like that. Because I want it to feed them at night. Then the next round I want it to be during the day, then at night. Or maybe I should do it a little more often. But I got to make sure this thing works. And I got to make sure the humidity from the tank doesn't clog it up. I think maybe flakes wouldn't be the best thing to be loading in this. Pelleted food might be better. I don't have pelleted food at the moment. But the one thing I don't like about pelleted food is you put pelleted food in here, the goldfish are going to hog it all up. Those suckers right there, their mouth's on the bottom of their body. They can come up to the top and get it. I've even seen plecostomuses come up to the top and get it. But the bottom feeders, the snails, the crayfish, they need flake food because half of it's going to sink down to the gravel where they can get it. Pelleted food will sink. I don't think it will ever actually sink. It takes like half the day. I think something's going to eat it by then. And I can see that little crayfish. He's moving over. If he ever gets his claws on any of these fish, he will eat them. But that is the risk. He's small, so he's not that dangerous. That I know of, no one in here has died by him, except possibly the beta. Down here, there was twice as many of these fish, which are dace fish. And yeah, the crayfish is eating them. But we'll mess with these and see how these things turn out. I got another one over there too. I still also don't know how exactly I will mount this, because first off, the cover is going to have to be open. I'm going to try to mount it in the back where only that sliver has to be open. But crayfish are pretty versatile. They can get out of things like this. Should this tank maybe just not even have a feeder and I should maybe return one of these to the store? Because a crayfish, just like a lobster, it can go a month or more without eating. And it's not going to starve. It's going to eat the fish in there. But then what are the fish going to eat? I got to think about that. But maybe by the next time I would ever be gone for a long period, I bet those fish would be gone. And he'd probably be fine. I could probably drop one of those slow discharge food bricks in there. And that would keep him going for like a week. And when he runs out after a week, he could probably go another month. Crayfish don't have to eat super often. I don't want to do that, but up here seems more feasible. I'd have to leave the tank open like that. I just medicated them. We're almost out of that one. Stuff's kind of stinky, so after a week I'll do a water change, wait a day, do another 50% water change. Yeah, you can smell that a bit in the tank. So this would clip on here, and every single day it would turn, spilling a little bit out of your hole. So this would actually have to be open a little more. I gotta move that shelf a little bit. No, actually, it can go back there like that, I think. Yeah, this could even shut a little more. And then I could put maybe a ceramic tile just to block that up and get that wire somewhere else, because crayfish could possibly climb that, or when that frog grows up, we also don't want it getting out. Or this could go on the front here like that, so I could look at the control. I will mess with that sometime when I've got nothing better to do. But that's a little aquarium update. I think I'm all set for a while. So I won't try getting another beta. And at this point, because we're already halfway through the treatment, if I do at some point get another Placo, it's not going to go in there. I'm not going to risk bringing ick into here again. We'll isolate it, like I said, and we'll treat it separately. Because right now we're treating, I'm just counting this as 60 gallons of water. Medications like this have a safety factor, so I want to a little bit overdo it. So if I do get a Placo, I'll probably temporarily set up like a 5-gallon tank. I'll put them in there. A 5-gallon, you won't need much of this. I'll just treat them anyways as a precaution for a week before I throw them up there. And I'm hoping I can do what I used to do, catch the Placos, put them in here, supervise for a couple of hours, let them clean that up like once a month, put them back up there. People used to love the time lapses of them cleaning. If I was filming a time lapse like that, I'd put a light on there because you probably can't even tell how dirty that is. The water's not dirty. That is, it's not dark, and the water's also not dirty. There's brown algae on the glass. See up here? Brown algae where they can't get to it. But thank you everyone for watching today's fish tank video. I'm going to try to wait a while before I make another update on it. Have a great day.